Established in 1885, the Belgian colonial empire surfaced the globe, launching its power through the domination of two African countries, the first being the Belgian Congo and the second Rwanda. The Belgian Empire approached their colonies as an extension to the metropole rather than as alienated settlements. Led by the enthusiastic King Leopold II, the Belgian Empire sought to expand its reign economically, politically, and socially within its colonies. Highlighting specifically Belgium's presence in colonial Congo, this attachment was a way for King Leopold II to reinforce his controlling hand and make it an international statement that Belgium would rise to be a major player in the colonial game. The ties between colonial Congo and the Belgian Empire were truly tested for years to come, specifically in 1940 when the German forces invaded Belgium during World War II. Remaining loyal, the Congo contributed to Belgium's fight against the Germans through providing adequate resources for its empire to successfully resist. It wasn't until 16 years after World War II that the next World Fair was conducted. As a result of the war, the world was in shambles and people were looking for a distraction and a brighter future. Structures were being created as a means of symbolizing that brighter future, where nuclear power was used for energy instead of bombs. Colonialism was affected by World War II, and that it was a good way for countries, specifically Belgium, to acquire resources for their military. The war provided as a reminder to many colonies that the rulers were not unbeatable. In turn, some colonies recognized their chances to achieve independence and therefore sought out their freedom. World fairs provided colonial empires the opportunity to reinforce their domination and control over their respectable colonies seeking independence. Most world fairs were held in the US or in Europe, but gradually began to expand to other countries around the world. The Bureau of International Expositions consisted of 168 countries that consistently participated in world fairs. Exposition 58 took place from April 17th to October 19th in 1958 in Brussels. This World Fair was spread across 2 million square meters, dividing into 7 different sections with 150 pavilions, taking between 1 to 3 years to build. With 52 countries present, Expo 58 brought in nearly 41 million tourists with a record of 713,664 in one day. Noting the transformation of Belgium from pre-fair to post-fair gives context to the developments that were made. Prior to 1958, most buildings were built in traditional fashions using materials like stone and wood. In addition, the road systems were crowded, small, and inefficient. Traffic was a major concern and something had to change before the opening of the World Fair. Most buildings were located in downtown Brussels, including all the government facilities. Housing stayed mostly within the parameters of the city, although rural farms did exist. Prior to 1958, the city of Brussels had no real defining monuments, but this soon changed with the construction of the fair. Highways were built in Brussels to facilitate the visitors coming to the World Fair. These highways provided many economic benefits for Belgium after they were built, namely allowing more manageable traffic in the capital. With the construction of the fair, the Belgian buildings were transformed from a more traditional to a more contemporary design as a way to show the modernization of Belgium. The materials used in the new construction included iron, steel, and other types of metals, showing the development of Belgian industry. The shift in urban planning allows the understanding of how Belgium incorporated its colonies, primarily the Congo, into the fair. The 1958 World Fair put on display Belgium's colonial power within its colonies. With primary focus on the Belgium Congo, this mirroring echoed the resources, traditions, characteristics, human representation, and architecture of the colonial power. Prior to the start of the World Fair, Leopold established Belgian influence within the Congo through the exploitation of its resources. Its primary objective was to exploit the ivory market in Central Africa by establishing a secure trade route between the upper and lower halves of the Congo. The region was reported to be rich in other commodities as well, such as mineral resources. Rubber exports began early as 1890 and by the mid-90s became the colony's most profitable industry. In light of these newfound resources within the Congo, Belgium also exported resources such as mules, cows, and pigs, which were additionally put on display at the World Fair. In addition, these displays provided a great source of educational tapestries, natural products, and corresponding methods of extraction. Models such as trucks, boats, and railroad stations, and photographs, film presentations, and maps in order to show Belgium's colonial signature on the Congo. The most notable evidence of Belgium's power was also evident through the representation of the Congo natives at the World Fair. A total of 144 Africans were exhibited performing the everyday lifestyle in the Congo. Visitors measured, photographed, and scientifically studied these human attractions. Furthermore, the Belgian Empire focused its attention on publicizing the most educated and civilized Africans of the Congo, also known as Evolis, who represented the evolution of the people at the hands of the Belgian Empire. There was a strong contrast in the way Belgium approached the people of the Congo. On one hand, there was glorification towards the evolved people, those who became Congolese police officers, tourists, mission workers, journalists, dancers, and musicians. However, those who did not meet the criteria were considered wild, and these people were put on display. Many visitors sought out these human exhibits, taking enjoyment feeding the blacks. Signs were put up around the exhibit saying, "Do not feed the blacks, they are already receiving food." The dichotomy of the way the Congolese people were viewed shows just how much of an agenda Belgium had on its colonial counterparts. Another important factor that influenced the situating of the Belgian Congo at the World Fair includes the architecture that was put on display. The Congo exhibit was spread out across 19 acres of ground within the most central section of the fair. As the most popular spectacle, it served an educational purpose for tourists. It demonstrated great advances achieved in the Congo by the Belgian Empire, including advancements in history, industry, religion, architecture, agriculture, mining, and commerce. The primary purpose of this was for visitors to be provided a lifelike experience of the Congo. The Belgian Congo Pavilion served as the location of the Congo Rammer, which was a display of audio and visual clips of the Congo. The design of the fair in relation to the representation of the Congo juxtaposed the modernity and primitiveness of the two very diverse lifestyles. Belgium placed on display the atomium, a display of scientific advancement next to straw huts and dirt ground. This positioning of modern versus feudal aesthetics demonstrated Belgium's attempt to credit their advancements within the Congo. In support of Belgium's cause to demonstrate superiority, these native aesthetics were surrounded by modern buildings constructed of glass, metal, and concrete. While other countries' modern exhibits focused on showcasing the nation's characteristic architecture, technological achievements, and national pride in a more explicit way, Belgium showcased its colonial advancements through the representation of the backwardness of the Congo. This was Belgium's way of exhibiting a positive display of the empire. After the fair was over, most of the land was used to build additional houses and businesses. Many of the monuments and displays from the World Fair were turned down, but some, such as the atomium, remain present even today. What was known as the Great Forgetting, Belgium conveniently forgot the errors and misdeeds of its colonial past, instead attempted to create a noble history for itself through the World Fair. Expo 58 was a way for the Belgian Empire to self-congratulate its colonial rule. Ironically, Belgium ultimately failed to maintain its colonial presence in the Congo. 2 years following the World Fair in Brussels, the Congo gained its independence. This demonstrates just how fragile of a system the Belgian Empire was, regardless of its decorated strength, represented at Expo 58.